Welcome to another conversation about Adult Day at Culpeper Baptist Church. We're going to try to show you a little bit about what the building will look like, and I'm going to start this video by kind of letting you see the schematic and walking you through that. And then I'm going to bring Erica Weaver from our Child Development Center up, and we're going to talk a little more specifically about the space. So hopefully this will work. This is not my training. But I'm going to try to move around this space in a good way, and just know that Hans and Erica are off camera right now, ready to laugh at me as I try to do this. All right, we're going to start up at this end of the building. This is the West Street entrance. This is the way you typically come into our offices right here. That's going to become just a sunroom, a sitting room for the adult day space. That door that you use will go away. The door will actually stay there, but we will lock it shut and bolt it shut, if you will. And so it'll be just a big open window for when those babies from the Child Development Center ride by, so that they can see the adult day participants and they can see the babies. Once you come into what is our office, basically we are knocking out a whole bunch of walls. So you can see from about right here all the way over to here is just going to be one large open space with a lot of windows, a lot of light. We're real excited about that. Back down here, so right here is my office right now. My office will obviously go away. That wall that we'll put a wall between my office and the big space, but the wall that is currently between my office and what has been the associate pastor's office, that will go away, and this will be just one big room. It'll be an activity room off the adult day space. So they'll have their activity space, and then they have that big open space over here to be in. And you'll notice right here, this is the area where Janine Judd works right now, and Hans, when he's over, he has a workstation here. This will be kind of stay just like it is, but it'll have a quiet room. So if an adult day participant needs to just kind of go hang out with a lazy boy chair, that's where they'll do that. This area right here, which is kind of our work room, which is where our copier is and a bunch of shelving, that'll become a little kitchenette for the adult day space. It'd be a place they can maybe do a little cooking, some snacks. All of their main cooking will happen in our kitchen over near the fellowship hall. And so you'll see this great big space out here that has lots of windows that opens up to the courtyard, to the outside in a beautiful way. You will notice we will put a new door right there. There's a window there right now. We'll cut that and make that a door. It'll go out into the courtyard, and you'll see a ramp that comes into the courtyard, to get the participants out into the courtyard. So they'll have direct access to the courtyard. You'll notice we've added a bunch of bathrooms. So this, where the bathrooms are, is where right now is part of the conference room as well as part of the prayer room. That will be a women's bathroom on that side. That'll have 4 toilets and 2 sinks. And then across the hall, where our 2 bathrooms are now, will become 1 bathroom with a toilet, and we'll also have a bathtub and a shower to support adult day. So we'll add a bunch of new bathrooms into this space for the purpose of adult day. You'll see a new door right there that we'll put in that kind of separates adult day from the rest of the space. You'll see right over here, we'll put a little counter beverage area, a coffee station, if you will, that will support the chapel side of the hallway. And then up here, we'll put a new door in there to secure the adult day space. Now let me see if I can rotate around and talk to you. So this is all the chapel area currently, and this is where we get real excited. This is the space that's going to be intergenerational. It's going to be a place where our whole community can gather. It's going to be a great space for our church to use and other churches to use on the weekends and on weeknights. So what happens in here? You'll know that over here right now, there are 3 classrooms that are separated from the chapel. The walls that separate those classrooms are going to come down. So all of this space will become part of the larger space where the chapel currently is. And we're going to talk to you about this part of the space a little bit later in this video. We're real excited about that. You'll notice over here we have to add a new door to give egress to the outside. There actually was a door there previously. You can see it when you look on the outside. We'll create a new door. That'll just be for an emergency exit situation. And then up here, this is Habakkuk's office right now. It'll become the office for the adult day space. This space right here will be the sensory room, and I'm going to let Erica talk to us about that sensory room, but both our Child Development Center staff and our adult day folks are really excited about having a sensory room. This room back here, way up there, is kind of a junk room for us right now. We have a lot of just random stuff in there. That'll become the music suite. That'll be used intergenerationally. A lot of just great activities that will happen in there. And then you can kind of see a configuration of tables and chairs that'll be up in the main space. That'll be really flexible. We'll be able to have tables and chairs, obviously. We'll be able to put rows of seating in for a worship service. It'll be a great small group space. You see up here, we're going to have a platform. That'll be a temporary stage. We're going to take out all that stage that's up there now. We want to kind of have a single level as we consider folks with mobility needs in our building. So it'll be a flat space up there, but we'll be able to put in a temp stage as needed. You'll see a lot of red stuff around the walls in this space. There'll be a lot of features on those walls that'll be really attractive to children and adults as they interact together. So this is the schematic of what we're hoping to do. Let me come over here, and maybe I have to get out of the way. So you'll see a new carport in here, a covered entryway for people to come into the building. This will be a phase further down the road. We won't be able to do this initially, but we will put, you'll come into the chapel like, or that entrance like you normally do, and you come in and we'll drop a new door just like we did in the Child Development Center on the second floor. If you remember, when you come off the original elevator, we put a door there to your right so you can't go in the child development space. This will be a door there that'll kind of secure the adult day space. And then there's that stairwell entry that goes up, obviously. And so you'll be able to come in this space, and you'll be able to hit a video phone. If you need to get to the church office, we'll come down and get you, or the Child Development Center, or the adult day space. We'll have a way for you to communicate once you come into that space. So a little bit of change in that entryway right there. So that's a rough schematic of what the space will look like. We're going to take just a quick break, and then I'm going to bring Erica into this conversation and let her talk to us a little bit more about all the features of the space. Welcome back to our conversation about what will the space look like for adult day and intergenerational. And again, we're just so excited about this. Thanks for hanging in there this far, because I know that first part was a little crazy with me trying to be the weather person and walk you through the space. But now I have Erica Weaver with me. Erica, introduce yourself. Let these folks know who you are.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Dan. I'm Erica Weaver, the Early Childhood Coordinator at the Culpeper Baptist Child Development Center. I've been with the CDC for just about 4 years now, and to share a little bit about my background, I have a bachelor's degree from Eastern Mennonite University in art and psychology, we're really excited for the opportunity to learn more about the intergenerational space and see what it can bring to our center.
All right, so when you talk about all the people that need it to come together to make this work wonderfully, Hans and I have shared with you some of the planning team and some of those just wonderful conversations we fell into. But when we got to this point, Hans and I knew that we weren't that valuable anymore to the design and all of that. And we're just so grateful that Erica has jumped in a big way to help us, and has that art degree and has that real sensitivity to the needs of children and the space needs of children. So she has been a huge part in this conversation. Let's talk about just the overall idea of how intergenerational space works. So it's one thing to say we want intergenerational space, but
Right.
but we got to create it. So just talk about some of the conversations we've been in for the last couple of months now.
Yeah, sure. So one of the main things I think is just the relationships that children and adults can form together, and it can really promote some like, I guess, teach diversity. It can promote sensitivity to others. It can just form relationships that we might not always have the ability to do that, you
Right.
know. So
And we want a space we didn't want a space where it felt odd for the children or awkward for the children to come into. We want
Right.
them to feel very comfortable in the space,
Right.
while at the same time making sure that our adult day participants are very comfortable in the space.
Yeah, we definitely, yes, Dan, we want a space that's dynamic for the children from the CDC standpoint of view, that engages them and encourages them to continue to come back and want to come back so that
Right.
they can build relationships with each other and with the adults. And I think some of the ideas that we've kind of brainstormed, Dan, and with Sarah and the design team a little bit, is just my ideas. I kind of are inspired from a children's museum when I take my daughter around those spaces, and seeing the interactions between children and adults is pretty magical.
Right. So if you're looking at our schematic right now, and I'll try not to be the weather person again, the area in the front of the building, which is where our current church offices are, that'll primarily be adult day space and their space uniquely. The chapel area, what is our chapel currently, will really be this vibrant space that we hope the Child Development Center will use as much as the adult day space. We hope the community will use as much. We just really see this as the intersection of everything we do as a church with our community, with our Child Development Center, and hopefully with Adult Day. So let me kind of walk you through what a day in the chapel space might look like. We could see, obviously, adult day participants are coming in that main entrance there just for them. They're greeted, and they probably start their day maybe in the chapel area. And we've got maybe some children hanging out there to start their day, maybe some parents who have 30 minutes before they need to run off to work. We have some community groups in there doing book clubs or small groups. It's just this wonderful interaction of folks coming into that space.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want Erica to talk a little bit about what we show on this plan is just those red marks around the walls. What's going on with some of those marks?
So we're really hoping to see a lot of art and sensory opportunities that are engaging to children. We'll have some of those red marks are interactive walls. There might be some activities that they can pull out, or movable, walls on wheels that we might have some interaction stuff on there. So we really want art and sensory into the space, just because art promotes creativity and communication. It can encourage neural connections that enhance all senses. And I think, again, with art, the biggest thing really is that it just connects people to build those relationships. Right. So they come together whether they know each other or not, or whether they have the same interests or not. But it brings them together to build those relationships together.
Right. And so some of the furniture will be more of the size that children will want to sit on or climb on. Some of the furniture will be more appropriate for adult day.
Right.
I know in a couple of those built-in places, we've got kind of unique cubbies, I guess, around where the windows are, that children can kind of get into a piece of furniture.
Children want to explore everything.
Yeah.
So we're excited about some of the interactive walls, and like Dan said, the little cubbies with seating. That's going to be wonderful for them to have down there.
All right, across the way of the chapel, we're putting in a sensory room, and this is where we're going to need you to talk a lot. Hans and I visited an adult day space that had a sensory room. We couldn't figure it out.
Sure.
So talk to us about why a sensory room is so important.
Yeah, we've been wanting a sensory room for a while, so we're really excited and hoping that the materials that are in the sensory room can help meet the needs of our children. So sensory rooms are really great for children because they may, depending on what their need is, I guess, there's different materials, so it provides a sense of calm for them. So sensory rooms can really help children learn how to self-regulate their behaviors. So our goal with the room, I guess, would just be that when children learn how to self-regulate their bodies, that they're a little bit more successful and focused in the classroom.
Right. And so the sensory room will be ideal. And the adult day folks also say how important it is for them. So for that adult day participant or a child care participant who's maybe having a tough day for whatever reason, we kind of bring them to the sensory room to kind of, as you said, self-regulate, kind of calm them down, learn some new skills to kind of be resilient.
Absolutely. And I guess the ultimate goal would be to learn when those behaviors are starting so we can be a little proactive. So I think the sensory room will help us be more proactive in that instance to try to get them to that point where there are calming materials and activities for them before their behavior gets to the point where we can't bring them back down.
Right.
Yeah.
So the chapel space, again, we expect Erica and Amy and all of those teachers to be coming down there regularly. It'll be another space for them, and with the growth you all have experienced and the growth we anticipate going forward, to have kind of a field trip space within the building
Yeah.
where y'all can take a nice trip
Right.
and go. But we also see field trip opportunities for our adult day participants up to your floor. Talk
Yeah.
about how you might see adult day folks being on the child care floor.
Sure, and I think our teachers would really appreciate this too. For example, we just had a couple new infants start in the same week a couple weeks ago. So at that point in time, it would have been perfect to have some extra hands in the baby room to rock some babies and comfort them. So we are eager to be a team and to allow senior adults to be up in our space to check out classrooms and say hi and continue to make those connections with children. And then also, again, help out our infant wing a little bit
Right.
with some
Yeah.
extra love.
Yeah, rocking a baby, reading to a 3-year-old, just all those kinds of natural interactions. And, my favorite thing about what you all do is when the baby buggy is making its
yeah.
rounds, and we just see that almost being like the ice cream truck for
Yeah.
adult day, when the baby buggy just happens to be coming
Right.
through with those 4 babies
Right.
on it, and just some wonderful interactions. So there will be planned stuff we do, and there will just be hopefully what we call organic stuff,
Yeah.
where they just happen to be in the same space, not necessarily for a specifically planned activity, but just in casual relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yep.
real excited about that. Again, the music room, we didn't talk a lot about the courtyard. We've kind of said a couple of times that the courtyard is going to become more than a sidewalk in the life of our church and community. So the gardening that we'll do together, some other stuff that we can do with games and activities in the courtyard between the age groups
Yeah.
will also be important. So let me talk to you about just some practical things. So we believe this whole space is going to be unbelievably dynamic Monday to Friday. We want to show you one little picture. Don't get too far down the road on us, but Brandon's going to show us one more picture of an artist rendering of what some of the space will look like. So Brandon, go ahead and put that up on the screen. So you're looking from the side of the classroom, so that wall is out. So these are those 3 classrooms I told you that the windows are over here, to the outside. So we've knocked out all of those walls, so that space has become part of the larger chapel. Those columns that are in there, we're going to do some things probably with some lighting to soften them. But Erica, just kind of talk about on this picture, what pops out to you? What are some
Yeah.
things that you'd want to talk about?
Sure. So those shapes at the end of the wall is sort of what Dan was talking about earlier, that they might be pop outs in the wall for children to have opportunity to sit on. We'll have some adult furniture. We'll also have some of that soft furniture that children can play on and manipulate a little bit into building different things for that. On the back wall where the stage normally is, you'll see, I don't know if I can do what Dan did over here, right there. We're hoping to see some, light tiles that you can change at touch so that children and adults can make patterns or just create some type of masterpiece for them. So that's what you see over there. And then again, we have some large Connect 4 or some Jenga or some type of fun activities that we can fill that space with.
Yeah, we just can't wait to get
Yeah.
here. All right, so let me talk to you about some church use of this space and some practical elements of what we need to do next. So church use, we see acoustic cafe being held in this space. A lot of our small groups, pre-COVID, we had 2 Sunday school classes meeting in this area. They will still be able to meet in this space on a Sunday, but we expect a lot of small groups to be in this space, not only in the weeknights after hours, so to speak, but during hours. We want to see our folks interacting in this space while Child Development Center and Adult Day is also interacting. So there'll be lots of opportunities for us to use this space. Many of you know that we had started something called The Branch before COVID, where people were gathering together, watching the sermon on video, and then sharing with one another. This would be an ideal space for The Branch because it's an intergenerational space, and that's what we were doing with The Branch. It'll be an opportunity for another church that might be looking for a home. As you all know, we host 3 other churches right now, so this would be a space that could be all-inclusive. They could have their, if they needed small breakout rooms or children's rooms, they could use the music room and some of the space over in the new intergenerational area. So it'll just be a great space. We think the community is going to come in a large way and call us and want to use this space. Let me talk to you a little bit about construction. We don't know what it will take to do all of this, so we can phase this project over time. So what we have to get done if we're going to open Adult Day is the area around the offices and adding the bathrooms. So that's phase 1. We would love the chapel area to be part of phase 1. We'd love to be able to take all of that at once and get that going right off the bat. Future phases will be the covered entrance for the cars to come under, so during bad weather they don't have to get out. That'll be a future phase. There'll be some other things that we will probably do in partnership with the Child Development Center regarding playgrounds and those kind of areas. That will be future phases. But Erica, before we close, anything else you want to tell us about this space?
Yeah, I think we're just really excited, and I'm part of a couple community groups that meet once a month, and I've reached out to them a little bit, and everybody's on board and supportive of us, and I know Amy has as well. So we have people backing us up on this, and it just makes us more excited to see it happen, I guess.
Right. And again, just to say, if you didn't know Erica before today, she's just one of the great leaders of our Child Development Center, and you all have been praying for our Child Development Center. They've had a tremendous year, have been heroic in providing child care, but the reason we're in this conversation is because of the work they do, and so it's exciting to think about where this is going to go. So again, what we need from you is, what questions do you have? Talk to Hans or me. You can call the Child Development Center. Talk to Erica and Amy. They'd be glad to talk to you some more about that. And what ideas do you have? We're always open to ideas. We're still in the development phase of a lot of this, but we're looking forward to the church making a decision about this on February 7th, and then we're going to go pretty fast after that. So thanks for watching today. Please feel free to share this with others that you know in the community that might be interested in Adult Day.